heart of a righteous man, but the hole in your heart put a gun in your head.
Protecting the money and serving the state, crushing the people with the laws they create. Nothing forgotten and nobody saved. You cannot break me, force me to be.
Alright! Alright! Yeah! Fuck the police! They can't control! We gotta tear it down! Everyone get up and let's go! Around the globe, it's got our head! From the stand stop to Iran! Cross the ocean, back to the chin! Aliens hanging at your head!
What up, everybody? Welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast, and fuck the police! We are coming to you live. I am Pulver. I'm back with my co-host, Chris Madaffer, coming at you live from San Diego. While this city is about to be on fire for the second fucking day in a row because police cannot stop firing at protesters with their hands up. So, Chris, I gotta check with you. How's it going?
It's going. I mean, I'm all for protesting as long as it's peaceful. I know there's lots of underlying things. I mean, violence is inevitable. I don't know, man. It's bad.
Violence is inevitable when cops are going to keep firing on citizens.
Yeah, because cops are panicked when they're people
scared.
don't realize the government's more
total cowards.
The people are more powerful than the government's powers because they just don't know how to react.
Yeah. And when cops get scared, they just get violent. Because they don't have actual training, the majority of them. Majority of them don't actually take jujitsu. Majority of them don't actually know how to protect themselves. So they fire fucking tear gas into crowds of fucking pregnant ladies and children. Which, if you guys have not been paying attention, go ahead and check out our Twitter, TSOV Pod, where they have... I've been covering all of this. First off, I'd like to say... Before we get to anything else, by the way, this episode is we will talk, I guess, MMA podcast for a couple minutes. I don't give a fuck. I watched I had the card on in the background, but I was literally watching a city 10 minutes from my house burn to the fucking ground while the card was happening. In La Mesa, California, which if you guys don't know, La Mesa is San Diego. People are like, technically La Mesa is a city in San Diego County, which yes, but so is every other fucking city in San Diego County, and everybody still calls all of it San Diego, except for
it's just a giant fucking neighborhood is really what it is.
Yeah, and it's they burnt that fucking place to the ground. I was there, 2-3 weeks ago, going to a farmer's market that was supplying the whole area with fresh produce, which is very depressing. It's also
I was just there not too long ago, Guitar Center.
Yeah, that happened in the parking lot that they burned that fucking building so bad. It was the one that they ended up saving, but it was completely on. It was one of the non-banks, and it wasn't the other one. Completely on fire.
It was surreal for me watching the footage last night because I used to. My dad used to own a bunch of community newspapers years ago, and one of them was the La Mesa Courier. I used to deliver the La Mesa Courier newspaper to every business on Spring Street, and it was kind of sad.
It's not big, dude. It's a really small area.
Yeah, no, I was actually kind of saddened to kind of see all that shit just burning.
I wasn't sad to see the Vons that refused to give so we should start off the top. So yesterday, Saturday, May 30th, 2020, if you guys go and look on our Twitter, you can see the video of where a bunch of protesters are protesting with their hands up, not being violent towards police, and you see police come out and it essentially out of nowhere start throwing tear gas in the crowd and firing pepper bullets, or it was a combination, I believe, of rubber bullets and pepper spray bullets, like the pellets, I guess is the right phrase for it. So they started firing those off. The reason they did that is because someone on the opposite side of the building, also a white dude who also looked to be in questionable clothes, threw a brick through a window, or a rock through a window that happened to be very rock-throwing size right next to the window. And it's on literally the opposite side of the entire police station in La Mesa. And the police then proceeded to fire tear gas and bullets and rubber bullets on everybody on maybe 400, 500 feet away on the opposite side of the building, which included women, children, underage kids, pregnant women, a bunch of people who were just peacefully protesting. I don't know if you saw the woman who caught a rubber bullet that embedded in her forehead between her eyes, who was peacefully protesting, who's supposed to be part of a non-violent protesting movement that she works for. And so after that, all the protesters tried to go to the Vons next door to buy water and milk to stop the fucking burning from the pepper spray. The Vons refused to let them in, and La Mesa went the way it did. And so, if that wasn't enough, while we're on air right now, I don't know if you have Twitter pulled up. I guess I can pull it up while I'm doing this. Right before we went on air, they once again pepper sprayed, or I believe did they pepper spray or did they use gas? I know they were throwing flash or concussion grenades.
Are you talking about in downtown San Diego?
So in downtown, right before we started, they once again, at a nonviolent protest in San Diego, started shooting rubber bullets at the crowd both of these without warning. They're not warning anybody before they do it.
I was watching the San Diego ABC 10 local news live stream, and I saw a sheriff, because he was in green tactical gear, just without warning, shooting. It was paintball guns, but I'm pretty sure that's what you load the rubber bullets in. It's the paintball guns.
It's either rubber bullets or it's the
pepper balls.
Yeah, the pepper balls.
Guns. Yeah, so he was shooting those. He was shooting out of a paintball gun, so I imagine he was shooting pepper. Which is fucked because it's without warning.
That's the thing, is like, if you look at I suggest everybody go look at our Twitter, TSOV Pod.
Something's happening right now.
Oh, fuck. While Chris looks at
something good.
So while that was happening, if you go look at our Twitter, you can see the exact exchange. It's not like people are fucking, they're not even pushing against the cops. There's like a barrier of space, and the cops are just choosing to open fire.
I don't want to interrupt you right now.
Please do.
So a majority of police officers just walked away peacefully.
They did that yesterday too, and then it turned really fucking bad at the next exchange.
And right now, some police officers are hugging protesters.
Okay.
And I don't know this lady's name. I want to give a shout out to whoever this is on the 10th, but she's literally instigating peace right now between the police and protesters. And
good for her.
Fist bumping her.
I do want to give
fist up.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out to 10 News, because they have literally, in our entire fucking city, not one goddamn local news station has had live coverage when anything went bad except for 10 News. As soon as bullets or pepper spray comes out, every single news station, whether it be CBS on, I think they're 8, NBC on 7, Fox on 6 or 5 or whatever.
KUSI is just late.
KUSI on 9. Every single one of these fucking news stations cuts feeds as soon as bad things start happening. And they don't come back up until their hourly news, which starts with police react to violent responses from protesters, which is, they have people on the ground who were maced by the fucking cops without warning, and they're still reporting like that. It's absolutely embarrassing for the city. We have no fucking responsible media.
Yeah, and then I saw yesterday, I was talking to our good friend Nick, who's in Seattle. He was at the protest there.
Actually, you guys would kind of know Nick, because he is the brother of the guy who did the art piece in the background of Leslie Smith that I have, so...
Yeah, he got hit in the leg by a smoke canister.
Yeah.
Got a nice welt.
Yeah.
He's fine, though. He made it out.
That was another peaceful protest that turned fucking real rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, and while the violence and the looters, I'm not going to... I don't condone violence at all.
Yeah.
The looting sucks, too. The looting sucks for the mom and pop shops.
Yeah, I don't care if you fucking loot banks. That's fine. Burn banks to the ground. I don't give a shit.
The one disturbing video I saw yesterday in Seattle, some fucking punk kid, he looked like some white teenager out of high school. It doesn't matter what fucking color he is, but just like some angsty kid who didn't love his parents. He fucking broke into a Seattle police cruiser, took out an AR-15, and then an undercover cop pulled out his Glock on him and disarmed him and arrested him. Jesus. And that was some pretty surreal shit.
There's been
fuck people who just want to just cause violence. Like, fuck you, go fuck yourself.
For sure.
Get out of Yeah.
And part of the problem, too, is a lot of the people at the riots last night in La Mesa were not from La Mesa. Because I watched...
Yeah, no, dude, I was watching. I'm like, that dude is not from San Diego.
Not only
like,
that, but
no
like
fucking way.
half the plates on the cars that are around are from like Georgia and shit. And even the California plates, you see people just turning on roads that you're like, that's a fucking dead-end road. You would not make that choice right now if you knew where you were going. Like, they're just driving up roads with apartments that are like clear dead ends and shit. It's frustrating on every single level. But make no mistake, every single fucking one of these bad actions that have taken place in the last 48 hours in San Diego is specifically due to the police reaction to how to handle this. They have always, I have in my life, I think you are one of the few friends I have that haven't been arrested by San Diego police. I think you and me are like maybe the two people I can name that I know that haven't been arrested by SDPD. Literally, out of everyone, and I'm including chemical engineer friends who go to UCSD. I'm including everyone with degrees, most of which these arrests were from being a kid in a park after 8 p.m. and looking sketchy. Like, I've gotten pulled over by cops all the fucking time growing up by just being a young punk kid with a skateboard and with like fucking leathers on, and they would just roll up on me and ask me what I'm doing and where I'm from. You're like, what the fuck gang shit is this? Okay, no. Looks like that's not a new update. Sorry, while we're doing this, I am so that, like I said, the riots yesterday were, before we get to what we're going to talk about, well, this is a lot what we're going to talk about, but before we get to podcasts or anything else, if I have to end this stream early, heads up, because like I said, I was 10 minutes from the riots last night, and the Vons that is less than a mile from my house is the target of riots tonight, based on everything I'm hearing. You guys would recognize it as the Santee Vons that had the Klansmen show up and try to fucking buy food with a Klan hood on, and then they let him check out after he took it off, which I have never been back to that Vons since. And so if I start hearing gunshots or if I start seeing fires, I am going to have to cut this early, which is possible. So I just want to give you guys that heads up ahead of time. But Chris and I did want to come on. I do have some podcasts I want to shout out because I tweeted some stuff out earlier, but podcasts have been a big help for me this week. Especially in the last 24 hours, 48 hours, because it's been distressing, to say the least, in this city. And considering I live in a neighborhood that is referred to as Clan T, pretty concerned for a lot of gunfights tonight. So, I just want to get that out the way in the beginning, so that if for any reason you see this cut early, that would be why. Well, you'll probably hear the gunshots, or I'll say, oh shit, there's a fire, I gotta go. But I do want to give that disclaimer, and I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. There's been some incredible podcasts the last 2 weeks, and honestly, I've just felt responsibility to get on air and just absolutely say fuck every part of San Diego County Police Departments. Every single one of them have acted poorly throughout this. Nah, that's not true. Temecula's fine, but also Temecula's all fucking white people, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, just like that's why Del Mar is going to be.
Oh yeah, Del Mar and La Jolla aren't going to have real fucking problems. Neither is Point Loma or Coronado. They wouldn't even let them go near Coronado because they have their own police department.
Well,
their
and
own
the goddamn
force.
Navy SEALs main headquarters is there.
And
essentially,
once you get into Coronado, they can seal it and you can't get out. And
yeah.
That would have been.
They can seal it, pun intended. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. Anyway. Yeah. So if I seem manic this episode, it's because I absolutely am. I've been drinking way too heavily, and I have been in. I'm not gonna lie. I've been distressed as fuck the last week. This was before all this, and so it's definitely gonna be a weird episode. We're gonna go all over the place. Man, I almost kind of don't even know where to go at this point, Chris. Well, you know, yeah, why don't we get back into our intros, and then maybe we can figure out where to go from there. Yeah, I am drinking a beer this week, and this was the most accurate beer I could find, because I actually have a question for you. Have you seen any breweries condone the actions of the police yet? Or sorry, not condone, but condemn. That would, or condone, actually. Either one would be interesting news.
My brewery didn't say anything about the police. They were just saying, "Please support Black Lives Matter."
Yeah, I did see that. That was very cool to see. There's actually been a couple that have like, a lot of them are more coded than not because of the military presence in this city, which makes people nervous to speak out against fucking racial injustices. Because shouts out to the Marines and the Navy. Navy less so, actually, more the Marines. But
so where do we go from here?
Oh, right. So what are you drinking on this week?
To talk about than me. I only listened to one because it's the only one I had interest in listening to.
Well, before we get to that, what are you drinking on this week? Anything?
I'm not drinking anything because I've been drinking too much and haven't gotten any sleep, and I have an eczema breakout on top of my eyelids, which is fun. So I can't be.
Sounds super pleasant, especially in this weather.
Yeah, it's not. It's been bad. So not drinking probably for a couple days because I need it. It's just it usually flares up if I'm just excessively drinking or if I'm just not getting any sleep or shitty diet. And yeah, you know what? I did have a lunch burrito from Kotix, which was fired the other day.
I mean, lunch burritos from Cotijan are like fucking the truth, though.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it had been a while since I had, because I usually don't eat Mexican food. Yeah. But when I do, I go big.
Yeah, you got to. And also, they don't know how to make small food in Cotijan. So.
Definitely not.
Shouts to El Cotijan in San Diego. If you're ever down here, any of those, I'll also say shout out to Sombreros is fire.
Vallarta Express.
Vallarta's good. What's the place on Claremont Mesa Boulevard? Lolita's?
Yes.
That place is good.
They're Cali burritos.
Yeah, I fucks with it. Out here in Santee, there's a couple good places. Like the Coty House isn't too bad down the street. The little Mexican shop up the road from me, which hopefully aren't going to be lit on fire tonight. I have no idea. Jesus. Okay, anyway, back on topic. Since you're not drinking, I did grab a beer. I did not know of any breweries that were like specifically condemning police, or else I would have absolutely bought that. So I did the next best thing. I bought a beer that I believe Stone Brewing actually did this collab with Jonah Ray, the comic writer. I don't know that I would call him a comedian. I think he does some stand-up, but I don't know that I would refer to Jonah Ray as a comedian. I'd probably refer to him more as a comedy writer. But he, I believe, in collaboration with Stone Brewing, put out Notorious POG.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's delicious. It is, of course, what is this? Passion fruit orange guava, right?
Yes.
Yeah, passion fruit orange guava Berliner Weiss. And it's, well, technically not Berliner Weiss because it's not from Berlin, but of that style. And yeah, it's delicious and super refreshing. And considering how hot it is in this room, I figured that was a good choice. And also, I feel like anything named after Biggie is the closest I can get to a fuck the police beer right now that I could get my hands on. So, big shouts to that. I should mention also, you guys heard on our intro, Leftover Cracks version of, oh God, what's the name of that song? I just played it. Gang Control. I believe it's a cover of another band. But we will talk about Scott Sturgeon and Stizza and Leftover Crack in a bit, because I have some stuff to say about that. Oh boy. Okay, I guess we'll get into podcast real quick, and then we'll loop back around, because I'll have you keep your eye on news while we're doing this, because I'm curious to see when shit starts burning again.
Still lots of hugs right now downtown, as an update.
Yeah, it looks like it's still pretty chill so far, so that's good. Again, sorry, I'm monitoring this because it's when it starts getting lit, it's going to get lit real quick over here. So real quick, a small group of protesters on corner Mission Gorge Road in Cuyamaca and I know about that. Also, don't give street names on this show because I don't want to. I don't want to name. I mean, it's not near me. It's like it's
okay.
It's not right near me, but you get my point. But yeah, I did see that as well. They're right by the trolley station, if I remember right, which doesn't surprise me, but also concerns me. So. Good. I appreciate you keeping me updated on it, though. Oh, so I mostly just have a whole bunch of catches this week because I've been listening to podcasts from the last 2 weeks since we didn't do a show, or not, at least not a regular show last week. So I guess Well, you know what? I guess I can start rattling off shows, and then you can throw yours in, since I know I'm going to hit it about halfway through mine. So I guess let me know which of these shows sound interesting to you, because I'm literally just going to rattle these off. I honestly don't have the mental capacity to be able to sort these into an order. This is literally, I think, the order that I listened to them in, and ones that I enjoyed. So I'll just rattle off the names and a couple things I liked about it, and let me know if you think it sounds interesting, Chris. First off, the Co-Main Event Podcast, episode 402, which was the one from last week. I'm guessing you listened to 403, right?
Yeah, I believe it was 403.
The one from this week?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll get to that one in a bit. But episode 402 was good. They talked a lot about how crazy the week of three, or well, the 8 days of 3 cards was. And just a very good example of why that show is solid week to week. Didn't necessarily stand out as anything incredible, but absolutely enjoyed it. Severe MMA had a incredible career retrospective for Kevin Randleman. And it was really cool to hear Sean Sheehan kind of go back and watch more of Randleman's career, because it sounds like he hadn't really previously, or at least not in a long time. And Kevin Randleman, people kind of forget, like, he was one of the first wrestlers. He was kind of like the OG Josh Koscheck, where he was like one of the first dudes who, when he first came in, was just a monster wrestler, and then just added a bomb of a right hand and would just mix
I was going to joke, first wrestler with bleached hair?
Well, that too. Yeah. Shouts to Adesanya right now.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love Kevin Randleman. He is... If you go listen to some interviews with Kevin Randleman, he is just, from all accounts, just a giant teddy bear and one of the sweetest people on the planet. And also just absolutely vicious, and murdered Mirko Krokop and almost killed Fedor.
Dude, dropping people on their heads.
Yeah, exactly. He literally almost killed Fedor. So, man, yeah, big fan of that. It was very cool to hear kind of Sean Sheehan go through and be like, man, compared to everybody else at the time, he was crazy well-rounded and actually looked kind of like a modern fighter. He also brought up the incredible skyscraper knees, which I don't hear enough people talk about. I forget which Pride fight it was, but he essentially has a guy in front headlock position. And, people would just knee straight forward from front headlock, like in Pride and 1 and stuff. You've seen DJ do it in 1, I believe, where essentially you just have a front headlock and you're just kneeing rather than going for like a choke or transitioning to the back. Well, Kevin Randleman would do it where he would post and like essentially go 90 degrees vertical and then drop the knee. So they would call, I believe Steven Quadros called it skyscraper knees, because he would literally bring his knee up at like a 90-degree angle in the air from the dude's head and then bring it like in a swooping motion down. And it was pretty fucking incredible. So it was cool to hear them talk about that and just kind of the history of that dude's career. I've always been a big Kevin Randleman fan. He's one of the first people I ever came across that I was a big fan of, outside of like guys like Jens Pulver and the first batch of dudes I knew. So very cool to hear that. Heavy Hands episode 317 was really good. Especially all the jokes about how all of Connor's favorite fighters end up saying racist things against Asians somehow. Shouts out to Chito Vera. Fucking.
Oh, god damn it!
I don't even think it's intentional, but
it's not.
I think it's a translation thing, but it's not the preferred nomenclature as we discussed. And they also talked about how Kevin Holland looking good and it disappointing Connor Rebush, because now he wants Kevin Holland to always look good. Let's see. The Fight Site MMA podcast, episode 13, was super interesting. They had Haxerized on as a guest. I really liked that one quite a bit. Also, full disclosure, I did talk to Kyle from the Fight Site recently. He said some really nice things, so that was cool. But mostly, I'm bringing this up because it was a fun episode. And I don't know if I've heard anything with Haxerized before. I think I've seen him on Twitter and stuff, but I don't know that I've specifically listened to any of his stuff. So I really liked him on the show. He's definitely another witty English gent. If I hope I'm not fucking up the location, but definitely a witty dude and just knows the game super well, and just an interesting discussion. Let's see. Speaking of the Fight Site and people who know the game well, holy shit! The episode with Mark Munoz that they did, Wrestling for MMA, episode 9, was awesome. It was Ed Gallo and Felipe. Oh, fuck, I forget Felipe's name. May have it here somewhere. I do not. So, apologies to Felipe. But it's a great episode. A lot of like not only Mark's history in wrestling, but just technical stuff about just like positions and preferences, like preferring to use a higher whisker, or no, you know what? That was the Curtis Blades one. Was that one? He talked more about he talked about learning to use his hips to free up his hands from in top, especially in guard. Like just learning that the best way to free your hands while you're on top is just heavy hip pressure.
Is it cool if I take a phone call?
Yeah. Just make sure to
I'll be right back. Let me mute my shit.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Hopefully nothing is on fire near Chris right now. Like I said, San Diego is burning. There's a reason why we're calling this episode San Diego is Burning. It's because it's motherfucking on fire right now. Also, thank you to Richard Lowell saying he hopes everyone's safe. I appreciate it, dude. I hope you are safe too, wherever you're at. Because shit is everywhere. And weirdly enough, the cops are acting the same almost regardless where you are. Which is fucking embarrassing for this country, but not unexpected, unfortunately. Yeah, so it was just interesting hearing Mark Munoz on there. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. He also talks about how his one vice is food and how he got as high as, I believe he said he got as high as 265 in between camps, and he had to lose around 75 to 80 pounds in the lead up to his fight against Tim Boach, which is absolutely incredible. So, yeah, really good episode, and I liked it quite a bit. And then the Fight Site had an interview with Curtis Blades that Ben Cohn and Ryan Wagner did, which I really liked as well. It's very cool that they're one of the few podcasts that they're doing interviews with fighters. I mean, I know guys like Heavy Hands have done this in the past. Jack Slack does a little bit more like technique breakdowns, but not interview technique breakdowns. But it's very cool to hear them get people like on who are both knowledgeable in the art that they want to ask about, as well as dudes who are just curious about stuff. And so you get a lot of like very technical questions that I would have never thought to ask. Stuff like they ask Curtis Blades, like, "Hey, I noticed. I believe it was I don't remember. I think it was Ryan who said it, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me." But they mentioned that Curtis Blades seems like he prefers to use a higher rear body lock. And you question, like, is that more just to drive forward and kind of be able to disturb balance or all that? And I thought it was very, very interesting to kind of hear the more technical side of that. God, sorry, I feel all over the place right now. I'm trying to hold it together. Oh, no worries. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, good. As long as nothing's on fire. Well, nothing new.
But it's just my brother is in La Jolla. He just got off work.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, well, luckily, good. Yeah, no riots in La Jolla, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, they just talk a lot to Curtis Blades about what's coming up for him next, and kind of. Oh, you know what? He did make a really interesting comparison. I don't remember I think it was Curtis that made the comparison of American grapplers versus BJJ players being a lot like NBA players versus EuroLeague players. In that BJJ players a lot more finesse, like EuroLeague players, whereas American grapplers a lot more like NBA players, where it's a little bit more gritty, a little bit more contact, that kind of stuff. So I thought that was a really interesting comparison that I hadn't necessarily heard made one-to-one before. So I thought that was cool.
Nice.
Let's see. Oh, do you know what? One other one that I listened to before we get to the one you had as a catch, Fights Gone By, Slacky's Film Room was awesome. Ooh. Have you ever seen any of the Slacky's Film Room stuff? Not
the film room stuff, though, but knowing him and just how insightful he is and how well he just is, I guess, eloquent with the way he kind of puts his narrative forward. I'm definitely interested now, though.
Yeah.
Is it him in like doing film, like tape study, or?
It's kind of. It's like a combination of a watch along and tape study. He, I believe this was referred to as the Chat Shit Get Banged episode, which was Diaz versus McGregor 1, MVP versus Lima, Eve Edwards versus Joachim Hansen, and Matt Brown versus Eric Silva, which were all fucking bangers. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It definitely some Jack Slack snark, but some good technical breakdowns too, which was neat.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. let's see. So, you had a catch as well, right? Which I was just about to get to too.
Yeah, it was the co-main event podcast. I believe it was episode 403. At least I think the one because I don't even. Dude, actually, wait. Today's what, Sunday? I almost forgot what fucking day it is. I think they put this one out like on Wednesday or Thursday. It's whenever McGregor started doing his tweets. That might have been on Monday then.
Yeah, I think it was Monday or Tuesday it came out. It's episode 403, I believe.
Yeah, they had good coverage of. They didn't really. From most of the notes I have, they didn't really cover some of the fights coming up from that just happened yesterday. They were mostly just talking about what they would like to see as far as what fights the UFC can make that are entertaining, because they think that the UFC is running out of legitimate fight ideas at this point. What was it? They also talked about Joe Rogan's Spotify deal and the amount of money he's getting.
We haven't addressed that, have we?
No.
That's bad.
What is it? $200 million?
Yeah, it's good. It's great for Rogan if he cares about money and not actual expression. Like limiting outlets to your voice does nothing but gain you money. There's no other benefit of it.
Yeah,
limiting access.
My main gripe with it is that I can't watch the video. I always watched the video podcast.
Not only can you not watch the video, you can't watch the audio or listen to the audio either unless you go through Spotify. They're killing both.
Like, I have Spotify, but still, like, I always prefer the YouTube.
Well, and also Spotify's never done video as far as I know.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So
it's just audio.
I guarantee you it's going to be fucking trash for a while when it starts. And Rogan is going to not say shit because I guarantee it's in the contract. And I think it's going to absolutely fucking trash that entire goddamn podcast, which is really sad. It's possible that it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me that you would narrow the amount of ways people can access your content. What would make sense, because his big complaint, which he said over and over, is fucking the left is on YouTube taking down all the or whatever fucking trash argument he has about YouTube. Which, to be fair, YouTube's absolute garbage, and their system of monitoring what people can say and what can't is just broken. Hands down broken. Monetization systems are absolutely broken. Content identification systems are absolutely broken. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you this video will get flagged since I played a Leftover Crack song at the beginning of this. And they will demonetize it. Actually, they'll probably demonetize it anyway because I mentioned riots. And because we swore in the first 30 seconds, which are all bad. But that's also why, if Joe Rogan really gave a fuck, he would have only sent the video to Spotify. But Spotify wanted a fucking full deal where they get all the coverage because they're trying to make a big push into podcasting. Not going to work. If it does, it's going to not... First off, I argue that if it's only on Spotify, it's not a fucking podcast because it's not widely distributed through an RSS feed. I understand that Webster and a couple places have since... in the last couple of years changed it, so now it's just anywhere where you can find audio or video online serialized is technically now a podcast according to them. I don't know when that changed, because that means Adam Curry didn't make podcasts anymore, which everyone's argument for the longest time has been, well, Adam Curry started podcasts because he had an he was the first one to go create a program that you could use iTunes for, and so iTunes is the thing where you have podcasts because it was for iPods. But like now that no longer applies, so I guess Corolla is once again the dude who actually made podcasts, because KLSX had audio on their website in 2005 or 4, whenever it was. This is me getting real deep in the weeds and angry. But how do we even get here? Oh, Rogan, yeah. So I think it's going to be terrible for his podcast. I think it's going to be immediately apparent.
Yeah.
So I am worried about it, but honestly, that show has gone way fucking downhill in a lot of ways. And he also inexcusable shit he is saying currently about like, oh, it's pretty weird that shows we're living in here. Actually, let me get his real fucking quote, because it's stupid as fuck. His quote about things that are going on about the riots in LA right now. Did you read this?
Wait, say this again? Sorry.
Rogan's quotes about the riots in LA.
No, please, let me hear them.
Rogan's quote that he put out about the riots in LA was... If this riot was a result of what happened in LA, this would be insane. That it's because of a horrific act almost 2,000 miles away shows us how fucking haywire this country is right now. Which, like, I don't know what that argument is, but it's bad. Whatever. First off, it's not clear what his argument is, which I think is because he's afraid to actually say his position. It seems.
I feel like he's always just good at staying neutral.
Like, dude panders real bad lately, it seems
yeah.
like. And not even, like, for actual reasons. It seems like, again, just because he's afraid to lose listenership, or because he's just becoming less and less informed, or he's turning... The other thing that people don't like to talk about might be turning into an old rich white dude, which has happened to a lot of podcasters that I was fans of. As they start to get more successful and they start to get older and whiter... They turn into older and richer and whiter Republicans who are like, let's have Dennis Prager on every week. Because everyone wants to hear what fucking Dennis Prager has to say. Like,
Rush Limbaugh.
I remember when you used to just talk about fucking smoking weed and hanging out with Ozzy. But anyway. People are probably thinking Ozzy Osbourne. That's not. Anyway.
Shut up.
That's not what I was saying. Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Sorry. So we got so off topic. But CME episode 403 was really good. Aside from that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I also liked how they made fun of Connor about the absolutely awful GOAT discussions he generated.
Yeah, that was bad.
It's not only bad, but it's just like not even a discussion. And the fact that every single media outlet then was like, oh god, Connor content, and tried to actually make content around that trash is like, it's embarrassing, man.
The biggest irony with McGregor is if he would have defended his belt, say maybe just a couple times, yeah, he'd probably have an argument if he was the champ. That's just the funniest irony of it all. But that's it. That's his choice, so whatever.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. Giving up on Twitter, and now I have a curfew.
Fuck, what's happening now? No, okay, that's old footage. Okay,
no,
good.
I'm just saying it got announced. I have a curfew of 8 o'clock in this city, and
yeah, I was about to tell you that, but
they're boarding up the windows of the Union Bank near me.
Yeah, boarding up the windows of a lot of places.
Yeah, that makes me nervous. I hope they don't fucking hit my locally owned liquor store that I love to death, Preferred Liquor. They're literally locally owned by like one dude and two other people, and they have like 3. Man, actually, that's where I just bought the Never Ending Hazy IPA from Stone from them because they're great people. So if they're still there tomorrow and you live in San Diego, order from them through Drizzly, because they're good people. They're actually very nice dudes. That guy's hooked me up more than I can ever say. So, but yeah, episode 403 of the Co-Main Event podcast, real fucking good, dude. Yeah. Richard Lowell says he stopped listening to Jerry after Alex Jones. I like the Alex Jones shit just because I like seeing Alex Jones absolutely melt down while high. But also, yeah, it stopped being good content around that era where it was just like it's not even the actual guests themselves; it's the quality of the conversations just fell off a fucking cliff. How's Mira Mesa? From what I've heard, actually, Chris, have you been out to Mira Mesa anytime soon? I haven't really heard any bad things about Mira Mesa so far.
I haven't been to Mira Mesa in a long time, actually. Not except for some breweries up there in Miralani District, but that was like at least a year ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because from what I've heard, I haven't heard anything crazy about.
I know Poway right now has about 200 protesters just showed up, which to me means they were bussed in.
It sure feels like that a lot of places down here.
That's what someone said. Like, these aren't even people from Poway. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, and that's what everything last night you watch any of those live streams from people who live in La Mesa on Facebook and shit. Here, actually, I got names for you. The dude on Facebook named Bryant Tuck, Bryant space Tuck, had incredible footage last night. He's just a dude who lives in La Mesa who he said he did a live stream. He said over and over again in the live stream, I'm not here looting. I'm not here stealing anything. I just want to document all this because it's insane. He's also very funny, and he also has a rattlesnake removal business if you're interested. But his Facebook video from yesterday is absolutely incredible, so I want to give that dude a shout out because he's doing actual journalism, unlike every other fucking news station in this city, evidently. Latest news I'm hearing on Mira Mesa, nothing crazy so far, based on Twitter at least. Also, it's really hard to look on Twitter for just about anything regarding San Diego because you have to filter through like every single Mesa post yesterday. You're like, okay, that dude's talking about a table, that dude's talking about a table, that dude's talking about a table, that dude's talking about the city. Same with like literally any, because they're all actual words in Spanish, so unless it starts with San and it's a saint, it's gonna show up everywhere. So makes it a little tough, but yeah, Mira Mesa seems fine for right now from what I'm seeing. Let's see.
Jack, my coworker in front of the podcast, he lives in Poway. He says he's nervous right now. He says seems like everyone's ready to shoot. And he's like, who are these people? They just bust in. He's like, they're not from here.
Yeah.
He's like, they're waiting for shit to go down. I don't like to be on conspiracy, but it's I don't know. Politicians is what I'm saying. Probably just sending people to different cities. I don't know.
I don't even think it's politicians. I think it's
It's just pieces of shit who just want to fuck shit up. And I don't know, man. I don't like talking about that, but it's just someone who's like, bro, let's go to fucking Foot Locker, get some fresh J's, fuck it, or whatever. Let's go fuck some shit up.
I don't even have a problem with stealing from Nike. Like, please steal from Nike. But like, don't steal from like the fucking liquor store that's owned by one nice guy, you know?
Yeah.
That's why, like, I have no problem with people burning banks. Like, dude, if you want to burn a bank, I'm not telling you to burn a bank, but, like, that makes a lot more sense to me than burning a fucking locally owned business.
Yeah.
So, also, I would like to point out that while there are a lot of racists in Santee, the guy in the Klan's hood that showed up in Santee was actually from El Cajon, for the record. I just want that to be known. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. I mean, to be fair, it's like 3 miles down the road. It's not far, but for the record. And also, everybody shouted him down and made him take off the hood in there, if I remember right. So, but yeah, that Vaughn's is still fucked. I'm never going there again. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated as we're doing this as best I can. The other podcast I had this week. Oh shit! So we should address Chris. R.I.P. to the A-Side Live Chat and Eurobash as we know them.
Wait, say that again. Sorry. R.I.P. to who?
R.I.P. to Eurobash and the A-Side Live Chat as we know them.
Oh, like they're just done?
Well, PT got let go from MMA fighting.
Shit.
Because of COVID stuff. Because they couldn't afford to keep him on. Which is
That's a shame.
It is, but also...
just got furloughed?
No, not furloughed. Let go.
Oh, just like... Oh, damn.
Yeah. Which is... It is a shame, but... Dude, PT is... I have been very vocal about my qualms with MMA fighting over the last couple weeks. I think they are putting their journalists in an... or at least they did in Jacksonville, put their journalists in an impossible position that is not fair to them, and they are part of the reason why their journalist credibility got questioned in the first place. And so someone like Pizza, who's always been such a strong, outspoken voice, and who's always been fucking excellent at what he does, and has never been afraid to bring up topics that were not popular. I mean, shit, he was the dude in Ireland going around asking people what they actually thought of Conor McGregor and whether it was positive or negative. And he was reporting it's mostly negative that he talked to people about. You didn't hear a lot of that coming out of Ireland. I mean, there are some people, but no one addressing it as like clearly and aggressively as him, at least during that period around the Donald Cerrone fight. I thought that was interesting, and I think PT on his own can go way fucking further than any outlet could get him. Because I think that dude just has such a strong voice, and he is so fucking sharp that I'm very excited to see what he has coming up next. I hope it's something cool. And I from what I've heard, they're going to do some variation on those shows going forward. I mean, I know in the past he had Talking Brawls back in the day. And so I hope we see more of Pizza here in the near future, especially on podcast, because I've always enjoyed him. He had our guest of the year last year on podcast, right?
Yeah, no, the guy's way too talented. He'll find another outlet.
And I hope he finds an outlet that lets him fucking do, like, real goddamn journalism. Like, not that MMA fighting didn't, but there are outlets that I think will be a better outlet for him in the long run, and I hope he gets hooked up with them. But in that episode of Eurobash, The Last Rants, I believe is the name of it, they did have Ariel on, and he also had Neil Siri on, who was supposed to be the original co-host of Eurobash back in the day, or I guess third chair of Eurobash. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, sad to see PT and Eurobash, or sad to see Eurobash into MMA fighting upon PT's departure, but I'm excited to see what they have going forward. Yeah,
I mean, it's new beginnings. Change can lead to better things, and I know he'll find somewhere.
Dude, yeah. Feels like we got to keep telling ourselves that right now.
Yeah, right.
Fucking seriously, but yeah, man. Okay. Sorry. If you guys hear me pausing, it's because I'm checking Twitter to make sure my city isn't on fire yet. Even though everyone's shouting for everyone to go to Santee and light it on fire. Anyway, the Joe Rogan MMA show, episode 96 with Trevor Whitman and Justin Gaethje. Did you listen to any of that?
Yeah, dude, that was really.
So
I should have mentioned
right?
it. That was really good. Yeah, especially how Whitman, and I remember leading up to his fight, the fight camp with Gaethje and Ferguson. It shows him like just sewing and basically what is it, a seamstress? Is that when you make your own shit? What's that called? Or
make your, like, clothing wise?
Or you he makes his own pads.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. It's like I think seamstress is inherently female, so it would be a seamster.
Seamster, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Essentially, he's making all of his own equipment by not by hand, but like personally, he's making all of his own equipment, which is super impressive.
Yeah, and I remember even like Joe is wearing the glove, from what is it? Is it Onyx? Is that his company?
I think so.
Trevor's company?
I believe so.
Yeah, ONX or Onyx, or whatever they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's without the Y. I see, I always get confused because of the fucking rap group. So I'm always like, it's not Onyx, it's something like Onyx. But I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right, though. But yeah, it's very cool. I mean, we've heard people talk about his stuff for a while. I forget who else out of Elevation was on that was hyping it up a lot. Blades wasn't on, was he? Who am I thinking of? Somebody was on.
Matt Brown used to be in Elevation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of people who are on Rogan who would have been talking about Trevor's gloves and stuff, because I've heard people talk about it in the past.
Rose Namajunas and Pat Barry?
Yeah, maybe it was Rose. That could very well be it.
Okay.
And I've heard Gaethje talk about it on other stuff before too, but yeah, it's just a really good episode overall. And also, Gaethje said the shit that everybody wanted to hear, which is like, the key to beating Khabib is being able to stay off his footwork. Or actually, like he said, it's feet work. But he said it's staying off the fence, which is, dude, that is the one thing you want to hear from a guy who is a incredible anti-grappler and absolutely fire.
I liked him talking about his wrestling experience. Even him going against Jordan Burroughs, he's like, yeah, I'm just an amazing defensive wrestler, not more or less offensive wrestler, which a lot of people forget about.
Right.
Because you can be both. But
a big part of that is, if I remember right, is because a lot of his career he had trouble pushing a wrestling pace offensively because it would gas him out, which is why he would rely on his defensive wrestling and then just be able to build pace off of the stuffs, if I remember right. So yeah, just a really, really good episode. Super technical, obviously, with Trevor Whitman, but also just with Justin Gaethje and everybody. It was Rose, it looks like Richard saying in chat, which nailed it. Way to go, Chris. Because I knew it was somebody out there, but I couldn't remember who. To be fair, he doesn't have a ton of dudes in his stable right now either. Which is always... It feels like that's always kind of the way to go, right? There's coaches who have like 5 guys that they work with really, really in depth. And then like training partners that...
Well, and I feel like that's the best kind of gym to be at, especially if you have some crazy amount of talent and skill.
Right.
And know you're going to be Well, I mean, you can be great by yourself, but you become better with your coaches. Because how did Trevor put it? He says he's the co-pilot,
Yeah.
helping Justin fly the plane or something like that. Or
Yeah, I think he said he's the navigator. Yeah, or he's the navigator in the rally car kind of situation. Where he's calling out the turns before they're coming, and Justin just has to trust that they're going to be there. So yeah, it's just two of the Justin is one of those guys. I feel like a lot like the Diaz brothers, who is much sharper than he lets on, just because of the way he talks. Which I think part of that's just anxiety, and part of it is head trauma, probably, or a combination of both of those. Because I know Justin is a big cannabis advocate and a big fan of dabs. Actually, I feel like people don't know that dude loves hash oil. He's all about taking giant dabs, and I feel like people don't talk about it enough because it's fucking hilarious to me every time. It makes a lot of sense, but yeah, it's a really good episode. And also, there's a great quote from him that I probably would have used on the intro for this show if I was doing intros for this show. But instead, I'm just playing fucking angry Scott Sturgeon music because that's what this country deserves right now. But he had a great quote about, he was like, he told Trevor Whitman, man, I'm really nervous right now. Trevor's like, why? He's like, because I'm not nervous. Which is a really good read.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I really enjoyed that. And then the only other one I had notes on for a catch for this week is Believe You Me, episode 228. I believe it's called Believe You Me Unfiltered, because it was Matt and Lewis drinking beers with Bisbing and Jim Norton, where they basically just did a crossover episode and drank beers together and hung out and talked shit. And that was a lot of fun. Some MMA talk, just a lot of bullshitting mostly, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I got about a little over halfway through it. I definitely need to finish it. I was kind of pulled into it the whole way, just from the beginning of the episode, and it was good.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, man. Let's see. I'm not doing skips this week because
Skill.
Yeah. My skip this week is anything the fucking San Diego County Police Departments have to say, because they're all cowards. And that's not true. They're not all cowards. The entities as a whole are all cowards, and their fucking treatment of their citizens is cowardly. Let me clarify that a little further. But yeah, fuck every part of the San Diego County
I knew it. This is so. Remember how I was telling you most of the fucking looters and stupid little assholes look like high schoolers? Mm-hmm. Yeah, someone said, yeah, Poway literally is like all high schoolers from Poway, Rancho Bernardo. It's because high school kids don't care. They're probably
also, Rancho Bernardo kids are fucking the last people who should be looting. They're all so fucking rich.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Where's their parents? Having them stay home? Hello?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, their parents are probably encouraging it.
Yeah, right. Hey, son. Well, I couldn't get you that new watch you wanted, so go loot. All right, fuck you, Dad.
No, it's more like, hey, son, I got you this new watch. That's not the one I want. I'm going to go loot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Fuck you, Dad.
Based on the 6 exchanges I've had with RB kids over the years. To be fair, I don't see a lot of RB kids because they stay the fuck up there and they don't come down here. So it's terrifying they are. Anyway, I guess I should get to my can't miss for this week, which my can't miss for this week is... Wait, first off, Chris, do you have a skip or a can't miss?
I can't miss. I would say it is the Joe Rogan one with Gaethje and Trevor Whitman.
I actually tweeted out that that's probably a can't miss for me too. And it would have been, except for after I listened to the MMA Vivisection, shit just got real. Man, I couldn't pick anything else. I listened to that right before we started this. Yeah, like I said, I've been in a real bad headspace the last 24 hours or so. I mean, like I say, a lot of these fires and shit is a lot near me. And if you search the name of my city, it's people calling for everyone to go burn it down. Which I get, because there's a fuckload of racists out here. But also, I'm not racist. So it makes me nervous. Yeah, fucking Jesus. But the reason why I really like the MMA Vivisection, because I listened to that I listened to that this morning between watching the city burn last night and probably watching the city burn again tonight. And I'm going to be honest, I laughed so fucking hard watching this. This episode is all Cody McKenzie UFC fights. And holy fuck is it beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Just everything about it. The jokes are so... I don't even want to give the jokes away because they're too good. Let's just say they have all of the good Phil McKenzie being a upper class Englishman jokes. I don't even know. I don't think he's upper class at all. But there's some great. I believe there was a great CCTV joke that I don't want to burn, but it was fucking incredible. And there's just so many good jokes. The Cody McKenzie jokes. They try and think about what Cody McKenzie's favorite booze is. That leads to hilarity. Just the beginning of every Cody McKenzie fight is hilarious because just that shit just got real run that he does. It's just fucking, as Jordan Breen would say, like kiss the fingers, beautiful podcast content, and it gave me really hard belly laughs in the middle of super dark, depressing times. So I want to give them a big shout because honestly, I would be sounding a lot angrier and a lot more negative right now, as I'm sure I probably will be again later on Twitter tonight. But they really kind of saved my mood for a little bit and gave me a little bit of levity in a time that I super fucking needed it.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what's really sad about not just the looting and then the rioting and all that, is the amount of fucking spikes we're going to get for coronavirus. Like, do we...
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, if we're lucky, it'll mostly be cops.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't even care at this point. It's just... Ugh.
It's all bad. It's all fucking bad. Hopefully, well, I mean, to be fair, it's not like cops are pepper spraying elderly women during a pandemic that causes respiratory failure. Not like they're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, back on track. Okay, so here's where we're going to talk about well-rounded stuff. Chris, do you have anything you recommend people check out, whether it's put them in good spirits, whether it's news coverage, whether it's anything?
Yeah. Chris D'Elia's podcast from this week was hilarious.
Congratulations, right?
Yes, congratulations. It was from Wednesday to episodes 174. It's different now. It was absolutely hilarious because he made fun of all of the corporations and businesses that have their shitty COVID-19 commercials.
Oh, God. Yeah.
He was like, he had his voice, he was like this. He was like, during times like these, when you need lumber and you need to build a new foundation for your family, Home Depot. And he's like, I don't know, he's like, this is what they say, like, you feeling lonely and need someone to what did he say? Oh, he said, you need someone to slob on your knob? Hookers. Shit like that.
Checks out.
Yeah, and then he talked about how apparently Vans and National Geographic are making shoes together, and he says it's the best but also the worst thing of all time.
Yeah, that sounds... Wait, how does that even work? Like, are they just globe shoes? How does that work?
I'm gonna look them up, but he says the Grey Wolf ones are fucking fresh.
Wait,
so
what part of Grey Wolf has to... Is it like... Are they just picking animals?
Yeah, it's like animals and outdoor shit.
So there's... Okay.
Let me see.
That's a weird choice, but then again, Vans just needs more things to print on flat tops, so...
Yeah, and he was like, really, Nat Geo? You went with Vans? He's like, why not Adidas or Nike?
Well, first off, you don't want to get associated with anything near the Reebok brand.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Oh my god, these things are real? No way. Because I mean, of course you'd cover it. We no longer carry... Wait, what? Hold on. I don't want to buy them. Well, maybe I do want to buy them. I don't know. Then again, every time I've owned Vans, they like fucking fall apart in like 6 months, so yeah. Let's see.
Oh, shit. Man. Well, I hope that is a little bit better news. It looks like some of the cops are joining and taking a knee downtown in San Diego right now.
Oh, shit. I gotta get that stream back on.
I don't know if it's current. I'm just seeing some recent shots saying that cops just took a knee in solidarity, which is very cool to see. Because there's mostly just been cops firing on...
Oh, I see it, yeah. This is fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was a cop, I'd be like...
Why the fuck would you not? Why the
Yeah.
fuck would you not,
would.
unless you're racist?
I would literally go to my department like, fuck you, take a knee.
Or don't go to work that day. Take
If
paid
you're a
leave,
fucking
dude.
cop, you got to show people that you actually care and not just be the stereotype that you are in the eyes of minorities. Other people don't like cops too.
Care
but it's
about your
just like,
fucking community, or quit your guy, or move. Although none of them fucking live in their communities they work, but
oh, these van shoes. Ugh. Okay, well, this one. No, these are really bad. Oh my god.
Are you now understanding why I brought
is
them
pretty
up?
cool, but you have to like the color yellow.
Oh, that's tough. Wait, why would you make a yellow shoe with wolves?
Wait. Well, no, because you know how, because Chris Lee was like, okay, so when whenever National Geographic decided on their logo, they're like, all right, make something up, and the guy's like, a rectangle, and it's yellow. There you go.
Oh, right. That makes sense. I forgot about
Hold
that.
on. Let me see if I can send this to you right here through Skype. Look on the messenger. What the fuck is this? Oh, yeah, right here. Hold on a second. Hold on. Here's one of them. Tell me if this link works.
Where are you sending it to me? Through Skype?
Skype.
Okay.
That's one of them.
Oh god, these already look fucking horrific, dude.
Is it showing you the full page? Or
Okay, I get that. That makes sense. I mean, they're ugly as all fucking get out, but I at least understand the idea of, hey, they're putting National Geographic pictures inside yellow squares on shoes. Also, why would you not make straight lines, though? Seems like
and here's another one.
Seems like that's not... Okay, what? Is that just a giraffe? Or is that... Oh, that's the wolf?
That's a Mexican wolf, it says.
Okay. I mean... Oh, you're right. It does say right on it. It's a Mexican gray wolf, although it's not gray and the shoe is yellow. Okay. Sure. At least they didn't checkerboard wolves across an entire shoe as a slip-on. You know what I mean? Could have been worse.
Yeah, someone's got to really like Nat Geo.
I mean, no. Someone has to be really like money and licensing deals.
No, I'm saying to buy these.
Oh, yeah. Well, no one's going to buy them.
Oh, God. It gets worse.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Here, I should probably be showing these on screen, but I don't know how to do that easily without showing all my fucking Twitter feed and everything I'm pulling up. Oh, you're right. These just keep getting progressively uglier.
Okay, here's the worst one yet. I'll show you right now. I'm done.
Here, let me see if I'll try and... Actually, I don't want to fuck up our streaming setup.
Here's the worst one.
I'll link him in the comments.
Oh, wait, is that not it? Oh, there it is. Yep.
That's bad. That's real bad. Here, I'm afraid I'm going to break our stream setup if I try and show it, but it's real.
Maybe we'll tweet them out. I don't know.
Or wait, I can do it. Give me 1 second. I know how to do this. Let me save the image. Where am I saving that to? There. Let me pull this up. Let me add an image from my downloads. Sorry about this, but I promise it'll be worth it. This is a really fucking stupid show. Oh, there you go. You guys can see that. Here, let me put it into focus for you. So it's, here. How the fuck does that shoe look? What the fuck?
Are you showing the high top?
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. That's awful. Oh my god. All right.
Or as Chris Lee would go, ah.
Let me get rid of that garbage. That is terrible, dude. Oh my god.
Dude, I got some new Vans high
so
top.
bad.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, that's bad. Yeah, no, I can see why you would absolutely trash that. That's real bad. Let's see. Do you have any other things you wanted to shout out this week?
Shouts out to the San Diego Padres for paying all their minor leaguers throughout the entire end of the calendar year. That is great on them.
Yeah, it's really
so
good
the
to
ownership
see.
gives a shit. Let's see what else. Oh, we should talk about the state of the division because we only wanted to go 90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
We're not gonna go long today because I am real fucking concerned about things lighting on fire if I wait too long. Let us see. Oh, so I got a couple shout-outs I want to get to. I mentioned Brian Tuck, BRYANT space TUCK on Facebook. I believe he's on Twitter and stuff too, but the live stream I watched last night was on Facebook. He had by far the most incredible footage of all the things that were happening last night downtown in downtown La Mesa, which I think it's not really downtown. La Mesa Village, I think is
Spring Street.
Spring Street and La Mesa Boulevard. And it's incredible, the footage he got. I believe it's still up on YouTube, so on Facebook, so I recommend going. I hate Facebook. I don't really use Facebook, but it's the only place I could find that, and it's absolutely harrowing and insane, just on every level. Between the fucking number of white dudes in San Diego, in La Mesa that night, trying to spin donuts with traction control on. It was the fucking stupidest shit. One dude fucking tried to do donuts with traction control on in a Mustang, and as I believe Bryant Tuck said, Mustang doing Mustang things, he just went right over a curb and into another car and then got stuck. Fucking so dumb. There's a chick in a fucking Audi, what is it, the R8? Is that the super fucking expensive Audi?
Yeah.
There's a dude in an R8 with a chick hanging out. First off, the chick is so white and cannot twerk, but keeps trying to twerk. And she's drinking from a bottle of vodka. And they are going up and down, back and forth. And like she keeps like half showing titty. And like people at one point just start throwing rocks at the R8. It's the most insane shit. Just straight up burning buildings. I mean, you can see the banks get burned. You can see the I believe there's an engineering firm that got burned down there. You can see that happen in real time. It's fucking terrifying. Just wild footage. The only footage that I've seen that's more wild than that, who I want to give a huge shout out to, is the YouTube channel Unicorn Riot.
Yep.
Holy fuck, their footage, man. They are an independent news organization out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I believe Minnesota as a whole, but specifically in Minneapolis and St. Paul, I believe, are the two places that I've seen most of their footage come out of. And they are on the street doing actual guerrilla investigative journalism while the riots are happening in Minneapolis, interviewing people, interviewing medics who are on the scene, trying to get into the fucking military zone that they locked off. And like the medics are on there talking about how police just are pepper spraying them in the fucking face. Like, they are yelling medic. They have crosses on them, and police are pepper spraying them in the face intentionally. And then the medics are trying to get into the zone to help people, because obviously people don't want help from fucking police medics at this point. Which, I mean, I don't know how long it takes you to get to a police medic after you've been injured, but the first person you talk to is not the fucking police medic. It's 14 cops who are going to beat the shit out of you first, as we've seen over and over again. And they're just doing incredible journalism. There's a clip that I tweeted out, TSOV Pod on Twitter again. I tweeted out a clip that they had of, they were interviewing a guy who owns I'm not sure if it's vegan. I think it's vegan, but it's like an organic restaurant. And it's like locally owned, black dude, lives in the community. His cousin died of police violence in the past, like not that long ago, a year or two ago. And he's out. They're standing outside of his business that he owns, that he's just staying there to try and protect. Just be like, hey, this is a locally owned business, and we support you guys. Please don't fuck us up. And the cops, I believe it was I think it was the cops, but it was also, I'm not sure if it was military police at that point too. I'd have to go back and look at the footage. But they make a wall. They start walking down the street. They're yelling press at him from fucking from way far out. And the cops just ignore them. They say, go inside, go inside, go inside. They're fucking press. There's no curfew for press. And you're not supposed to tell press where they can go. That's the whole thing with press, right?
Yep. It's called becoming embedded.
Yeah.
If you have the right credentials, or most of them.
If you have credentials as a press outlet.
It's just credentials in general. They give you that access. That's why if you have that embedded access, what they call it, you're allowed to go under police lines too.
Well,
so
they specifically said the curfew does not apply to press. And so the right move is police look at the press badges, verify the press badges, and then continue on. Instead, what these police do is they march them down. They start yelling, "Go to jail or get inside." They shove them into this dude's black-owned business that he fucking pays rent on and owns, and then they stand outside and menace him and point guns at him for the next 20 minutes. And it's fucking absolutely atrocious. I mean, they're arresting CNN journalists regularly, and that's fucking CNN. They are intentionally pulling up on press members who are holding cameras, wearing badges, and they are ripping up the street, screeching up next to them with pepper spray pointed at them. And the only reason they didn't get hit is because they started screaming press at the last second. It's absolutely harrowing, and it is absolutely unconstitutional. There's never been a better example of why local independent journalism absolutely fucking matters in this country. This is why I go on such tirades about journalism, is because we've never seen a better example of it in modern era, right?
I won't give out his name, but I'll say it's this guy I actually went to school with at San Diego State, and he was in one of my classes. I graduated with him. I don't know. I guess I could say where he works. No. No. He's not an independent journalist, but he is a journalist, and he did a great job last night. He was in La Mesa doing some good coverage. I was following his video feeds. He even got hit in the legs a couple times by some beanbags.
Oh, I actually watched that dude's stuff too. Yeah, he was very good. The problem is like none of the actual news outlets had live video footage. The only one that did was chopper footage from 10, and that would go in and out depending on how bad the cops were getting.
And 10's the only one right now, I think, that still has live footage.
Exactly, which is fucking embarrassing for this city. We're we're one of the biggest cities in the country, and we don't have fucking news coverage during riots and fires where police are shooting citizens.
You would think at least KUSI would be.
They all cut their feeds. They all cut their feeds as soon as it went bad.
Bunch of pussies, dude. That's all I mean.
Dude, not only pussies, but like just cowards. Just fucking to the core.
Dude, if it wasn't so dangerous, I would literally go there right now with just my camera and just start filming. But I don't want to fucking get shot. I don't want to get pepper sprayed for no reason.
Part of the problem too. I would be out a lot more too. Except I have immunocompromised people that I live with that I can't really do that, unfortunately. Which is why I've been so fucking.
And I also don't want to get COVID too.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I can't really risk the people I live with because they are, cancer survivors and stuff like that. So. It's absolutely shameful that a city this big has zero fucking legitimate news sources, and the best news source I had for live fucking video in this city last night while it was burning to the goddamn ground, or I guess in this county while it was burning to the goddamn ground, was one dude on Facebook who has a fucking rattlesnake removal company. That's absolutely shameful. I'm fucking embarrassed for every single aspect of news journalism in this fucking city. It's absolutely deplorable what they did yesterday. And it's absolutely deplorable the way they keep repeating shit like, police turned on violent protesters. Like, no, motherfucker, police turned violent on protesters. There's a big difference in the way you phrase that sentence. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of this shit is people parroting stuff that's not, not a lot
They're there. They're fucking standing there. Their own reporter got gassed and was still saying it. Yeah. Fucking CBS, Channel 8, was their own reporter got gassed and was saying, well, people threw rocks at an armored car, and so they maced all the people nowhere near those people as a result. Including the reporter who's saying this. What the fuck are we doing, dude? What the fuck are we doing? So this is my current fucking situation right now.
All right, we should get into
We'll talk about state
of my pants. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and
we'll talk about the state of MMA here in a second. Oh, the last thing I wanted to shout out is if you guys go to Broadcastify, BROADCASTIFY.com. That is a police radio website where you can pull up dispatch radio for most major cities. I know in San Diego we have a whole bunch of them. Everything from, basically any dispatch in San Diego is public radio you can find there. And that's what I've been following. It's extremely helpful. And if you guys are in a city where dangerous shit is happening, I highly, highly recommend it. Because Twitter's pretty good if you search your city's name and you just go by latest and you just keep refreshing. It's pretty good. People are pretty good about there's a lot of people on there just quoting police dispatch, which helps. But also, it is not a terrible idea to also have a dispatch radio broadcast running as well, just so you're informed. So I recommend that as well. And yeah, I guess we'll take a very quick break. I'll play some song that's probably going to get fucking muted on YouTube for being, I don't know, fucking too goddamn cool. Oh, the one last thing I want to talk about. Actually, you know what? Listen to this song from Scott Sturgeon, and when we get back here in a minute, literally like probably 2 or 3 minutes, we will talk about just, I don't know, hopefully not more of this, but probably more of this. So we'll be right back.
All right, you want me to stop?
Yo, pass that shit.
That shit's good.
Today I didn't down, now let's set him down low. Let's hang him up high. Let's take all of these piggies and have them crucified. Say, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace of tequila cigar? The Kirk City, are you ready? Living above the law. I go ragged and roll in the streets of New York. We work above the fucking law. It don't matter the color of your skin, as long as you know scandalous commit no sin to me or my tribe. We're not white. I'm the smell I got to open up your fucking eyes. Step back and keep your attitude in check. He's a Kirk City, much respect. Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace of tequila cigar? Kirk City, are you ready? Living above the law. Don't you know that Satan is the man? So listen very close, cause we got a little plan. We're gonna have to execute some rich important people. Gonna burn another churches and top all other symbols. See a frown, turn that cross upside down. Grab a baseball bat and let's go to fucking town. Let's kill the bodies up in there and let them over when I go to the door. Don't forget the choice is yours. Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace of tequila cigar? Kirk City, are you ready? Living above the law.
Riots sound when police come around with the bass and drum. We lock them down, drop them up with the riffs and in the stew. We did drinking pot liquor made of poison glue. Some of them living way up in the high-rise castles. To be fishing with the walkers to lick their asshole. With the beat we boom down the big brass door. Here we go, rock steady.
Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace of tequila cigar? Kirk City, are you ready? Living above the law. Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace of tequila cigar? Kirk City, are you ready? Now stop. Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace of tequila cigar? Kirk City, are you ready? Now stop. Kirk City. control. We gotta take it back. Everyone get up and let's go.
Your politics are political. I'll take the bullet to prove that you care. Fuck the facade of a righteous man, but the hole in your heart, put a gun in your hand.
Protecting the money and serving the state, crushing the people with the laws they create. Nothing forgotten and nobody saved. You cannot break me, force me to behave.
Alright. Alright. Yeah. Fuck the police. They take control. We gotta tear it down. Everyone get up and let's go. Around the globe, it's at our head. From the stands up to Iran. Cross the ocean, touch that shit. Aliens literally at your head. Fuck the police! They can't control! We gotta tear it down! Everyone get up and let's go!
Where's the match you want to wait, man? Where can't I disappear the light? Feel the harmony of what we lost. Around the world, just to that cross.
All right, we are back. Sorry about that, y'all. Fucking yeah, shit is going down. They're boarding up everything near me. They locked up the Walmart. They put carts in front of the Costco. We have I think an 8 p.m. curfew right now, and it is 5:49 Pacific time. So. Yeah, so we're not gonna be on much longer. We decided we're gonna talk a little bit about the state of the UFC, but honestly, I don't give a fuck about the state of the UFC right now. I don't know about you, Chris.
Yeah, no, I don't care because flyweight has a vacant title, bantamweight has a vacant title, and now 205 has a vacant title because John Jones isn't getting paid what he's asking Dana to pay him. So yeah, let's see. I think Adesanya is in New Zealand. He can't come here,
Right.
Because
and not only yeah, I have to reclose this window because all the fucking Hell's Angels are coming out.
Oh shit, I can hear that.
It's gonna be a long fucking night in Santee. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's UFC is in a bad state right now.
You mean Vegas? Oh wait, no, Vegas isn't a state.
No, they're opening up their fucking casinos on the 6th. Talk about spikes in COVID. That's going down.
I think it's actually the 4th.
The 4th? Oh, excuse me.
But equally as terrible, yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to talk about last night. I watched a handful of fights. Jamal Hill.
So wait, you want to start at the bottom because I did see like the first handful of these.
Let me pull up the fucking card if I even remember it.
Yeah, pull it up on Tapology. Woodley versus Burns. I saw like the first half of these, and then at a certain point, right around Daniel Rodriguez, I guess, versus Gabe Green was right around the time when everything started getting lit on fire and people started getting shot. And so after that, I saw like
okay. Wait, when did you
brief clips? So I saw like the first 4 fights.
Yeah, I tuned in with Tim Elliott versus Brandon Royval.
Yeah, and like I saw clips here and there of the other stuff, like, but I was mostly watching the fucking city next to me burn. So we'll do a very brief recap. I do want to say though, holy fucking shit, Chris Gutierrez's leg kicks against Vince Morales was one of the nastiest leg kick TKOs I've ever seen in my life.
I did see that finish. That was crazy.
Dude, Jason Herzog just hates legs, evidently. Like, that dude is just like... I can't think of someone who exclusively likes to steal legs, but if I knew of someone, that would be it. He's like the opposite of Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. Yeah.
don't have a better reference. I did see, actually, I only make that reference because I did see Vince Morales post a picture of himself, or it wasn't himself. I think something along the lines of him saying, me today, and it was a picture of Lieutenant Dan. It's like, that's a fucking great joke, my guy. But holy shit, dude, Chris Gutierrez looked good on the feet, but especially the way he was able to chop the legs consistently. That was one of the nastiest calves I've ever seen in my life.
Didn't look good.
No, absolutely didn't. Also, there's zero reason why Vince Morales' corner should have sent him out for that third round. The second round, I mean. Like, he was getting so beat up that, like, I feel like that's one of those instances where if you are going to send him out for that round, you have to say, like, hey, I need you to check kicks or else we're calling this almost immediately. Because it was going to get worse if he didn't start checking kicks. And he just kept eating them. And it was so rough to watch, man. Just one of the most brutal leg kick demonstrations I've ever seen. So yeah, huge win for that dude. Casey Kinney versus Luis Smolka. Holy shit. I had a feeling this was going to get wild. I did not expect it would get one-arm guillotine in the first 3 minutes wild.
Yeah.
Like, I knew these dudes were going to have crazy scrambles because that every single one of both of their fights is almost nothing but that. The Casey Kinney fight that he had against, was it Ray Borg? I think it was, right?
Yeah, that's when they had those absolutely insane exchanges.
Yeah, where they were just non-stop scrambles. The Marab fight had some insane scrambles too. But, man, yeah, I knew they were going to both be diving on chokes. And they both like guillotines a lot and front headlock chokes. And just like series off front headlocks. But, yeah, Casey Kinney caught that shit and sunk it deep. And was able... I think did he finish it from mount? I don't remember. I don't think so, right? I think he almost had mount and then he got rolled back over. Again, this is...
Yeah, he was like side control.
Yeah. But, man, absolutely impressive. And big win for that dude. Speaking of big wins, Brandon Royval. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of absolutely insane scrambles and guillotine sequences, fucking Tim Elliott, king of the guillotine sequences. That dude loves guillotines. He doesn't necessarily love finishing them all the time. Man, he just has zero hesitancy to dive on guillotines, huh?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's absolutely always been his downfall, is he'll just way pot commit to stuff. Was it this fight that he... I can't remember if it was this fight that he went for a choke really fucking hard in the first round. Or am I thinking of the... See, it's all blending together for me because I was like watching stuff haphazardly while I was doing this. But anyway, I do know that Brandon Roy... No, I think it was. I think Tim Elliott went for a couple chokes that he wasn't able to finish, and it gassed his arms out. And Tim Elliott's always been that dude who, if you get out the first round with him, or if you get towards the end of the first round with him, he will significantly start slowing down because of just the insane grappling pace he will start pushing. Just like forcing grappling exchanges over and over and over again. And it's, yeah, definitely, I feel like a lot of times it's to his detriment because he pushes a pace that I don't know that he can keep. Kind of like a little bit like how Gaethje used to do, but more of grappling version of that. So either way, super impressive performance. And man, as soon as Brandon Royval started setting up that arm triangle, he immediately stepped over from half guard, sunk it in deep, and that shit was a wrap.
Yep.
Let's see. Speaking of nasty performances, Jamal Hill just fucked the dude up.
Yeah, that was impressive.
It looked unfair.
Yeah,
I honestly don't have much more to say than that. He
Yeah.
honestly just fucked the dude up. Solid knee, ended up on top.
Yeah, the dude just didn't have a fucking chance.
Yeah.
Great win by Hill. Good news for him is that the title's now vacant. So I'm not saying he'll get a title shot anytime soon, but who knows with that division? It's pretty shallowish. I don't know.
I mean, allegedly the title's vacant. I don't know if that's how that actually works.
Yeah.
Because just because John Jones says something on Twitter doesn't mean it's actually true, as we all know. Much like the person he's arguing with. Although, I believe as Eugene S. Robinson said this week, I believe the drunk driver over the liar. So, yeah, fucks with that. Let's see.
I didn't see Daniel Rodriguez versus Gabe Green.
I didn't catch it either. I need to go back and watch it.
Did see Caitlin Chukagin and what she did to Antonina Shevchenko.
Oh, you know what? Chukagin was the one who had someone in such deep chokes that I was worried she was going to gas. She had some nasty rear naked choke attempts and Antonina in the first round, and then just proceeded to pummel the shit out of her from top for the rest of it.
So, absolutely great performance by Chukagin. I think she said she takes a little bit of time to assess where she's going to go from there, but she says she wants to fight anyone. Not that division's really that deep, because it's not. We'll see, yeah. And then we got no longer Big Mac, but Quarter Pounder.
Oh, Quarter Pounder?
Mackenzie Dernzinho, whatever you want to call her.
Oh, yeah, her accent did come back in real-ass form this week, I heard.
Yeah, it was bad. Hannah Cyphers was absolutely beating her in the clinch game for sure, and bowling her with some nasty elbows from clinch.
Which is insane because Hannah Cyphers is so much smaller than her.
Yeah, but once they went to the ground, fuck, that shit wrapped up pretty quickly.
I mean,
the knee bar.
Dude, super deep knee bar too. Like that shit was ugly. It was after that. It was very, very satisfying to see Roosevelt Roberts get the RNC on dogfighting asshole.
Yeah,
Brock
I was gonna
Weaver.
say Reddit's most hated
Fucking idiot,
alleged dog killer or whatever the fuck.
Not even dog killer, but like, say he was lying about having his dog fight another dog, and he still posted a picture of his dog being bloody.
That's not good,
bro. At worst case, for sure, clean the blood off your dog and don't just take a picture of it first. Like, for sure, that's the move. Even if it wasn't from a dog fight. Even if it was just because of in general. The fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah, even if it could have been an instance of, oh, my dog got bit by a raccoon and he fucked it up. Still,
any example. Like, to joke about it being a dogfight means that you are at least tacitly agreeing that dogfighting is a thing you are at least around. Because no one would make that joke if they've never been around dogfighting. It's not a joke you would make, man. Or if it is, it makes you kind of a dick.
Someone just texted me something. They said Clan T. What?
Fuck.
Hold on.
Jesus Christ. Well, I'm not completely positive, but there is rumors of people planning on not just attacking commercial businesses in Santee, which is great. Fuck. You know we don't even have a police department, we just have a sheriff's department?
Yeah, someone just said... Yeah, I hate when someone fucking tweets someone and just say, I just found out. Fucking source it.
No one sources anything, bro. Even the
You
news
stupid
doesn't
bitch.
source things.
Yeah, because this person just said 5 minutes ago.
I saw that. Let's not even quote him because I don't want to put that out there if it's not true. But people in Lakeside, Santee, Poway, and El Cajon, lock your motherfucking doors and windows tonight. Jesus fucking Christ. Man, I'm glad we're doing this on air. So I feel like people don't see this shit, and I feel like it's important to see. Because I'm gonna be honest, it's fucking terrifying, man. It's really fucking terrifying. Because like, as a dude who has been I've always been one of the most outspoken. I've gotten fucked with by police my entire goddamn life, being a young kid who grew up in the punk scene and skateboarded my entire life. And I see how they treat me, and it's gotta be worse for everybody who's not as lily fucking white as I am. So, it's real frustrating to see people be like, oh, burn down all of the place I live just because there are a bunch of racist fucks here. Because I don't know how to show you I'm not a racist fuck. Man. Okay. Where were we? This is... you guys see why I stopped watching the card yesterday?
Okay. So great
Billy
win by
Corn.
Roosevelt Roberts.
Yeah.
Billy
Really good
Quarantillo versus Spike Carlisle was a great fight, even
Awesome
though
fight.
Carlisle did walk away and then got hit in the side of the head. That was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, dude, you do not walk away with that much time on the clock, no matter how confident you are. And yeah, absolutely good on Billy Quarantillo to go and fucking mollywop him for it, because them's the breaks. But yeah, I don't know what to make of Spike Carlisle. That dude is, I just don't know what to make of him. Like, everything he does, technically, I feel not confident that it's ever going to work. And then he touches people and they almost die. I don't understand why. It's really crazy. But he also fights like a one-round fighter every single time, which is probably part of it. So, I don't know. Yeah, it was a fun fight for sure. And I like Billy Quarantillo, friend or probably Quarantillo, friend of MMA on the Rocks, I believe. I believe he trains with Bill Welker out there in Florida. So cool to see him get the win. And man, Spike Carlisle has shown he's fun motherfucking fighter to watch every single time. So
Yeah, that is crazy. I remember he had like that Scooby-Doo laugh and shit, like his fucking UFC debut before he started fighting.
He's also the one who I believe David. Oh shit! I didn't mention Writer and the Fighter earlier. Motherfucker! Should have mentioned the Writer and the Fighter episode. I think it's 69. Ha. Nice. Episode 69 of The Writer and the Fighter, David Golden did solo, and it was really, really good. I absolutely recommend it. It's really hard to do a show solo like that, especially a preview show, and he did a really good job of it. He also gave odds and stuff. I really liked it, so big shouts to him on that. And then, let's see, where were we? Oh, right. So, yeah, big win for Billy Quarantillo, and I'll definitely watch shit Spike Carlisle does in the future, but... Also, wait, was that at a catch weight? Did somebody blow weight for that?
No, I don't believe so. The only blown weight was Brock Weaver.
Was that scheduled at a catch weight then? Or did Quarantillo move up
it was
to fight
scheduled
Carlisle?
at a catch weight then. It was scheduled at a catch weight at 150.
Because Carlisle's a 55er, right?
Yeah.
I think. No, they're both featherweights. So, yeah, maybe they just scheduled it at catch weight since it was short notice. Interesting. I did not watch any of the Augusto Sakai versus Blagoy Ivanov fight.
It was a slobber knocker, but Blagoy Ivanov
but
got
more
fucked
slobber
over.
than knocker?
More knocker. But,
Okay.
Let's just say Ivanov got fucked over, and DC pointed it out. There was an egregious... Ivanov was taking down Sakai, and Sakai literally almost like yanks the fucking fence out of the goddamn post. Like, that's how much he grabbed onto it. And Herzog warned him, but didn't even take a point. Like, dude, I think it was Herzog, that's a fucking point. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that was in the third round, and whatever. So good on Sakai, I guess. And then the main event, all I got to say is absolute masterclass performance by Gilbert Burns. This dude's striking has come a long way. Tyron Woodley did look a little active, explosive at times, but it's at this point where a lot of people have tape on him, and while Tyron Woodley's striking has never been that great, he got by on his one-punch knockout power, and it's kind of like the Deontay Wilder effect. If you can just pressure a power puncher that doesn't have good striking, what are you going to do? You're going to put him against the fence, and you can't do shit for most of the fight. And as well, shouts out to Gilbert Burns having great distance management, avoiding that right hand. He did a lot of like shell kind of defense, kind of more like rolling his shoulders. I don't want to say like a Floyd Mayweather, but it's kind of where you're just able to kind of just duck down with your whole body instead of just
catching stuff on your shoulders, like not quite Philly shell, but
he looked great. As far as who's going to fight Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns is one of his main training partners, and they said they don't mind. Well, he doesn't. He says he doesn't mind facing Usman. I think it'd be mutual between Usman as well. I don't know if that's going to be the fight. Usman keeps saying Masvidal wants to fight him. Masvidal keeps saying Usman doesn't want to sign him down the line. It's a fucking mess. Colby Covington basically got kicked out of ATT because he's a fucking idiot. I don't know who he's going to fight. Don't really care at this point. Leon Edwards is just stuck. Literally just stuck because he's in the UK. Yeah, I don't know. If I were a matchmaker, I'd just say fuck it at this point, do Burns versus Usman. I don't give a fuck about Masvidal versus Diaz. That's a fight I don't care about. I think Masvidal would just still beat the shit out of Diaz again. I don't care about that fight at all.
Yeah.
As far as Conor McGregor goes, whatever, dude. Go fight Anderson Silva. I don't care either. That's so dumb. Yeah. I don't know. Just give me Gaethje and Khabib in this fight. I just don't care. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing right now that we may be entering state of
yeah. Let's go ahead and end it here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we are literally about to. It's about to be announced we're entering a state of emergency in San Diego. So I guess this is a better time than any to wrap this up. Hopefully we will be back next week, assuming everything I own doesn't burn to the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I don't know. Wish me luck, y'all. Or send me beer next week. I'll probably need it. Holy fuck, man. Everybody, please stay safe out there. I love all of you for listening. I love all you for being supportive. And I love all you for being you. Don't be racist. Crazy, I know. Don't be racist. And also, don't violently support cops. Support individual police officers. Don't support cops. And so I guess that's about all I have to say. I am very proud of my city for marching the way they did early yesterday. I'm very, very proud. The footage of that march on the 8 freeway is really powerful. I'm very proud of San Diego for it. I'm not proud of our fucking police department or how the rest of our city's handling it. And it's fucking tough, man. So,
shouts out to all the cops that actually are taking a knee, though. So.
And shouts out to the good cops out there, man. I've dealt with a couple of them. Not a lot.
Yeah, I have an uncle who's an Oceanside police officer. Great guy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could probably name the 5 cops that I've ever dealt with in my life in San Diego that have been nice to me. And I've dealt with a lot more than 5 cops. But stay strong, San Diego. We love you to death. And fingers crossed we'll be back next week, y'all. Chris, anything else?
Stay safe, everyone.
Till next time, in the words of Scott Sturgeon, well, you'll hear it. Later, everybody.
Yo, pass that shit.
That shit's good.
Today I didn't down, now let's hit him down low. Let's hang him up high. Let's take all of his piggies and have him crucified. Say, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace? Let's give us a god, Kirk City. Are you ready? Living above the law.
Hardcore, rugged and raw. In the streets of New York, we work above the fucking law. It don't matter the color of your skin, as long as you know scandalous commit no sin. To me or my tribe, moving up and wide. Time to smell like I know, open up your fucking eyes. Step back and keep your attitude in check. He's a Kirk City, much respect.
Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace? Let's give us a god, Kirk City. Are you ready? Living above the law. Don't you know that Satan is a man? So listen very close, cause we got a little plan. We're gonna have to execute some rich important people. Gonna burn down all the churches and top all the symbols. See a frown, turn that cross upside down. Grab a baseball bat and let's go to fucking town. Let's kill the bodies, I've been saying let them over when I got them near the door. Don't forget the choice of yours. Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue menace? Let's give us a god. Kirk City, are you ready? Living above the law.
Riot sound, police come around with the bass and drum. We lock 'em ricin in the stew. We did drinking pot liquor made of poison blue. Live it up, some of them living way up in the high-rise castle. To be shishing with no pork and I lick their asshole. With the beat we boom down the big brass doors. Here we go, rock steady.
Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue men just gonna kill some god of Kirk City? Are you ready? Living above the law. Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue men just gonna kill some god of Kirk City? Are you ready? Now stop! Kirk City, are you ready to stop the rotten blue men just gonna